Hi friends, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning session that is organized by Shri Gyanmantri Vidyapit. Welcome to Science. The content of the day that we are going to do is how the electrons and protons were discovered. Okay, how the electrons were discovered. It was the very first concept that was given by Sir William Crookes and Sir J.J. Thomson. They carried out one experiment, and with the help of that experiment, the electrons were uh, like electrons were discovered. Actually, they were already there in the atom, but how they came into existence, that we are going to see today. The very first thing that Sir William Crookes and Sir J.J. Thomson did was this. They first of all took a cathode ray tube. Okay, once they took the cathode ray tube, on both of its ends, high voltage was supplied. Okay, and this tube was partially evacuated cathode tube. Okay, now over here there is one positive terminal and one is negative terminal. The positive terminal is called as anode. While the negative terminal is called as cathode. So, what was done by Sir William Crookes and Sir J.J. Thomson? They took one electric discharge tube that was partially evacuated. Remember the keywords: electric discharge tube. These are the keywords which will help you out to write the answer. I am not going to write the answer for you because now you have to learn to write the answer. He took an electric discharge tube. Electrically discharged means there is no charge inside and vacuum was created inside it. Partially evacuated means vacuum was created. And at the both of its ends, high voltage was supplied. Now what happened? Once they did this, what they saw? They saw that very fine beam of some particles were going from negative to positive. This was the direction. Once again, what they did? They took one electric discharge tube. Electrically discharged, that means what? Containing no charge. Then they created vacuum inside it. That means whatever amount of air was present, that was removed. After that, what was happened? Vacuum was created and high voltage was supplied. Then what happened? Because the high voltage was supplied, the fine beam of electrons, they were seen to be going from negative terminal to the positive terminal. And this is how they came to know that it is not only the protons which are present in the atom, but also the electrons are present in the atom, which is responsible for this going from negative to positive. And this is how electrons were discovered. Okay, once again, how was this? We are talking about discovery of electron. I am not going to write this short note for you because I have already given you the keywords with the help of which you have to write you have to write on your own the whole short note. Okay, electrically discharged tube. It was William Crookes and Sir J.J. Thomson who explained about the discovery of electrons. They took the cathode and the anode and the cathode. One is positively charged, one is negatively charged. Two electrodes were kept and both the electrodes were given high voltage. Okay, what he took? He took a partially evacuated electrically discharged tube and vacuum was created. Partially evacuated means you are removing the air. Then he kept two electrodes and to electrodes high voltage was supplied, because for supplying high voltage you ultimately need what? You need electrode. Once it was supplied, it was seen that all the electrons, there were some particles that were going from negative to positive. They had expected everything will go from positive to negative, but they saw something different. What did they saw? They saw that things are going from negative to positive. And this is how they came to know about the particle, that is electron. And finally, Sir J.J. Thomson and William Crookes gave the whole concept of electrons. Okay? Quickly draw this diagram, note down these keywords. I'm giving 2 minutes time. After that, we'll move further on the properties of the electrons. Be quick and note it. Exactly 2 minutes will be given to you, not more than that. Kindly note that. Be quick in noting. Just remember the diagram, and after that the content will become very easy. Contents are quite easy. After that, after this we will see the properties of the electrons. There are 3 properties. Okay, now let's move further. Now the properties. The very first property, The very first property of cathode ray is the travel in straight line. Now, how can that be seen that they are traveling in a straight line? For that, this is the cathode ray tube. These are the two electrodes, and this is the high voltage. Okay? Now you can see the particles going from negative to positive. Now over here, if I put any particular object in between, suppose if I am putting a paddle, then its shadow will be formed over here. This is its shadow. Okay? Suppose if at all it is traveling in the straight line and I'm putting a paddle in between, because it is moving in the straight line, this is the shadow that will be formed. What does this state? Because the shadow is formed, it is just because of this property that it is traveling in a straight line. Very easy concept. High voltage is supplied, they are constantly moving, and the shadow of the paddle is formed. What does it say? It states that they are traveling in a straight line. Next, they produce mechanical effect. Now, how can we say that this particular electrons are producing mechanical effect? Let us see one more example. This is the electric discharge tube. Two electrodes at its ends, which is having what? High voltage. So what do you have to do? You are doing nothing. Those scientists have done, and we have to just see what they have done. Now, if we keep a paddle in between, then that paddle will start its rotation. It will constantly start moving if at all the beam of electron is going on. Okay? Paddle moves. Why does it move? Because of the mechanical effect that is created by the cathode rays. Okay? We have already discussed about how Sir William Crookes and J.J. Thomson, they discovered electrons. You already know how they discovered the electrons. They took an electric discharge tube, partially evacuated, they took the electrodes, then they gave high voltage to it, and what they observed fine beam of particles going from negative to positive, and this is how they gave the name as cathode, because they were coming from the negative terminal of the battery. High voltage source was given. Now the same concept over here, if I'm putting any object, not necessary paddle in between, then I'll get shadow of it on the next particular end. Why? Because they travel in the straight line. Next property is they produce mechanical effect. Now, how can we come to know that they are producing mechanical effect? Because over here, whenever we are giving high voltage, what will happen? The paddle will move. So the paddle moves, which shows that they produce mechanical effect. After that, the next particular uh, property of cathode ray is they are negatively charged. Now, how can we come to know about it that they are negatively charged? Once again, electric discharge tube, two electrodes, high voltage, what do we see? We see all the negative particles going from negative to positive. Correct? This is what? Negative. This is positive. Now what happens over here? How can we come to know that they are negatively charged? Outside, over here, external field was created. What was created? External field. That means outside the tube, positive and negative charge was created. So this is external electric field. Positive as well as negative charge created. Because all the electrons are negatively charged, they will not go straight away, but they will get attracted over here on the positive charge. And this is how, because all the beam got diverted towards the positive charge, we came to know that they are negatively charged. Once again, let us have a look at all the properties of electrons. Properties of cathode rays or electrons is one and the same thing. The first one is to travel in the straight line. How can we come to know that they are traveling in straight line or not? Just put the shadow. Lights are traveling in the straight line, so you'll get the shadow of it. So whatever things are moving in the straight line, they are creating some kind of shadow. They are traveling in straight line over here. So what happens over here? This is the fan or a paddle that is kept in between, and this paddle's shadow will be formed on the next end. This shows that they travel in the straight line. Next, they produce mechanical effect. If we put a paddle in between, then this paddle will start its motion when a high voltage is given. This shows that they are producing mechanical effect. Then they are negatively charged. For that, we are knowing the common things that they were going straight away. Now, if external field is supplied, that means externally you are giving the positive and negative charge. In that case, what happens? External positive charge, external negative charge. All the negative particles will get attracted towards the positive. So what will happen? Because they are negatively charged, they will get attracted towards the positive. If they would have been positively charged, they would have got attracted towards the negative. Here they are getting attracted towards the positive external field. It shows that they are negatively charged. So these are the three properties of cathode rays. Please note down this. After that, we'll move on with very important some characteristics of electrons. Quick in noting it. I'm giving you 2 minutes time to note it. After you note, we'll move further. Be quick. Now let's move further on how the electrons are emitted. Some of the basic properties of electrons we'll see. That is the mass, the charge, then E by M ratio, some important concepts about the electrons. That is, you can say, the characteristics of electrons. Okay? First of all, how are electrons emitted? How can we come to know about this positive or negative charge? This is the basic question. The very first thing, that is how the electrons are emitted, is whenever there is action of heat on certain metals. Whenever any metal is heated, then at that time the electrons will be emitted from it. Next is action of ultraviolet rays on very reactive elements like potassium, calcium. Etc. Next is radioactive elements. They emit beta particles, which are the electrons. Then action of X-rays. These are the ways by which the electrons are emitted. Either on any metal we are supplying it, or on very reactive elements like calcium, potassium, ultraviolet rays are given. The radioactive elements, that is uranium, thorium, they constantly emit harmful radiations which are containing the beta particles, that is the negatively charged particles, and by the action of X-rays. These are all the ways by which the electrons are emitted. Now next is the characteristics. Of electron. The various characteristics of electron, that is the mass of electron, charge of electron, and the mass of electron is 9 to 10 raised to minus 28 grams. If we talk about its charge, then its charge is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. That is, it is having minus 1 charge. If we look at in the comparison, then one charge is this. Charge on one electron is minus 1, and that minus 1 is this much. In coulombs it is this, minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. If we compare the mass of electron and the mass of hydrogen, then mass of electron is 1 upon 184 times the mass of hydrogen. And after that, Millikan, he did one oil experiment. About that I discuss it. just now only. First note down this, after that I'll explain you about the E by M ratio and how that E by M ratio came. First note down this. I am giving you 1 minute time to note it. Quickly in 1 minute, note it. So I hope that you have noted down this. Now we'll move further. That is Millikan's soil drop experiment. So that was about the property, and now the next particular content of the day, that is, as I said, the Millikan's oil drop experiment. Now let us understand about this Millikan's oil drop experiment. He was the one who gave the value of charge, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Now how he was able to calculate this particular value of charge? He performed one small experiment. Now let us have a look at that particular experiment. For that, what he took was okay, over here there were two plates he kept. These two plates were connected with the positive and the negative terminal of a battery. Okay, the upper one was carrying the positive charge while the lower one was carrying the negative charge. Here, this was connected with the atomizer. Okay, and over here this was connected with X-ray source. From here, it was observed through telescope. This is about the arrangement. High voltage battery source was kept over here. There was an atomizer over here, and the oil, this is Millikan's oil drop experiment whole apparatus, and this is how he had arranged everything. Now when the oil drop was allowed to fall from here, from the upper plate, it is but obvious that the oil drop will come down. This is what he did to find out the value of charge. Now, here this X-ray will come and they will ionize all the gas. So what is the function of X-ray? To ionize the gas. So because of that, the oil drop will come down. When you go on increasing the voltage, you will see that the oil drop is coming down. At some fixed voltage, at a particular fixed voltage, this oil drop will remain in the steady state position in between the two plates. First of all, why it is going down? It is going down because of the gravity. Once again, this is about the whole of the arrangement of Millikan oil drop experiment. This is not there in your book, but we are doing it. Why we are doing it? We are doing it because of this concept. So this is the positive and the negative charge, and here high voltage is supplied. There is an atomizer over here that will provide all the oil drops one by one, atom by atom, one by one, it will come down. This oil drop is coming down because of the gravity, and this at some particular voltage, at some fixed voltage, what will happen? This particular drop will remain at the steady position. Okay, why it is remaining at the steady position? Because we are arranging the voltage. So when it is at the steady state position, at that time on this oil drop, two particular forces are acting. One is the electric force, one is the gravitational force. Now this electric force and gravitational force are compared. The gravitational force is m into g and the electric force is equals to q into E. E is the electric field that we are supplying the voltage, so we know. Mass of the electron is known. G, that is the gravitational acceleration, that also we will know. So from that we can calculate the charge on the electron. Q can be calculated. This is how he calculated the charge on electron as this: 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. This is not there in your book, it's just for information. This is how he did whole of the experiment. Okay, it is coming there in your book. In your book only there is one value of E by M ratio. That also I'll make you note down over here only, whatever things are essential. But you should know about what the people are doing just to find out one small value. So Millikan's oil drop experiment, these are the X-rays which were provided from here. This is the whole of the arrangement. There was an atomizer over here. These were the two plates which were kept over here. From here we are observing, and here X-rays were there to ionize the gas. Very easy. In a cylinder he adjusted atomizer, X-ray, and he arranged two plates. At the two plates were given the opposite charges. Okay, and why were the X-rays there? They were there to ionize the gas. There was the atomizer. What was the function of the atomizer now? It was supplying the oil drops one by one in the form of the atom, and it was stabilizing everything. So as a stabilizer we can say it. When we go on increasing the voltage, first they will come down, then they will go up, at some particular value, it will remain at the steady state position in between the two plates. At that time, the voltage is seen and electric field can be calculated from that. So Q into E is equals to M into, by noting this, Q can be calculated. Okay, note down this just for your information. Very quickly draw it. I'm giving you just 1 minute to draw it. After that, last content we will see about which is there in your textbook. This is not there in your book. It's just for your information. Note down this. After that, we'll move further. It is just for your information. Be quick in noting. I hope that you have noted down this. Now, last, this is not there in your book. Again, I'm saying it's just for your information. Last part, which you have learned is this. The value, this was the experiment. Now, E/M ratio, this was given by Sir J.J. Thomson, and he gave the value as 1.7588 into 10 raised to 8 coulomb per unit charge. Okay, so this is its value which was given by Sir J.J. Thomson. Okay, so that's all for the content of the day. I hope that you have understood about all the production of the cathode rays, the similar way you are having the production of anode rays. Once you have understood this content, the anode rays will become very easy for you. We saw how William Crookes and J.J. Thomson, they tried to explain about the discovery of electrons. After that, we discussed about the properties of the electrons, that is, they travel in the straight line, then they produce mechanical effect, and last one was they are negatively charged. After that, we saw how the electrons are emitted and the characteristics. Among them, the last characteristic was left out. The absolute value came by Millikan's oil drop experiment. This experiment is not there, again I am saying, in your book. It's just for your information. That's all for the content of the day. Thank you so much for listening to me, and have a very good day, all of you. Bye.